Welcome to A Home and Healing for Every Child. I'm your host, Melissa. This season, we're speaking with foster and kinship carers, guardians and adoptive parents, sharing honest conversations about what it really means to open your home and support children and young people in care. Caring for kids is meaningful and rewarding work, but it can also be complex and challenging. This podcast exists to bring carers together through real-life advice and lived experience. Whether you're just starting out or have been a carer for years, this space is for you. Let's dive in. Thanks for being with us today, Sharon. I'm really looking forward to hearing your story.
You're welcome.
Take us back to the beginning. When you first decided to become a foster carer, what was happening in your life at that time?
Okay, so I just had my biological child. He was 10. We were renting, just doing life, just me and my son. Obviously, he went to see his dad and stuff, but yeah, basically full-time with me. And I was in the shopping centre one day and I seen a lady, as I was getting into my car, and she was hitting two little kids around 3 to 4, around that age, around the head. She was just going like that, whacking each kid's on the head. So I walked up to her and I said, hey, you can't be doing that. Like, you shouldn't be hitting him at all, let alone about the head like that. And this will probably be the only swear word, but she did say they're only effing foster children. And that's exactly what I did. I went, wow. So I went back to my car and I took down her number plate and I called the local doc. Back then it was Doc's office. And got sucked in from there because she said, oh, you've got a lovely heart. Have you ever thought about being a carer? And I said, oh, no, I'm single. Like, I'm not married or anything. She said, oh, you don't have to be married. You can be gay. You can be single. You can be married. And I said, oh, I still wouldn't be able to do it. I rent, because I just had all these preconceived notions that you'd have to be married and own a home and be stable and have lots of money and all those sorts of things. And I said, oh, okay. When she said, no, you can rent. I went, oh. She said, as long as you've got a room. Well, yeah, we sort of have a room. And so I said, oh, okay, send me out the stuff. And my attitude was, if I'm good enough, I'll pass assessment and everything. And if I'm not, I'm not. But at least I tried. So, yeah, that was the start.
Awesome. So I like the taking it one step at a time.
Yeah, there was no epiphany, I want to do this, or like my mum was a foster carer, so she fostered Aboriginal children back in the 70s. So I suppose that was deep in me, but it wasn't for long. We only did it for about 5 years and it was so different. Back in the 70s there wasn't child protection and all that sort of stuff. Well, there sort of was, but there wasn't. So, yeah, I suppose it must have been the right time at the right place. Obviously, I spoke to my son about it and explained to him, all these different kids are going to come, they're going to have families, you're going to have to take a bit of a back seat, especially if we're going to do babies. And he was all for it. And as I went along, I seen the benefits, like when you're a single parent and you've got one child, number one, you don't have a dad in the home, so they don't learn things because they don't have a dad in the home. And number two, he had siblings, his dad with another partner,
yes,
but none living in our home.
Yes.
So he was spoilt. He didn't know how to share. He didn't have empathy. He didn't have to have all these things because it was just me and him. So over the process of being assessed and doing shared stories, shared lives, and actually getting to be a foster carer, I seen all the positives that could happen for us as a family, not just me, just both of us. So, and I did always want more children, but I'm not the sort of parent that wanted 5 kids to 5 different dads. So when my partner and I broke up, that was my family finish. So, yeah.
And thinking about that, like the things that you've learnt as you've gone along, what would you, if you think back to being on that phone call and thankfully that person actually said, hey, you sound like someone you could be a foster carer. Is there anything that you'd like to tell yourself back then that you know now?
Well, I would never regret the kids,
Yes.
ever. Every child that's ever entered my home, I never regret. But the system is very, very hard to work in, and permanency has been my biggest goal.
Yes.
And just silly policies like sibling policies that aren't silly, but they were in my case, where I had to fight for my daughter that's about to turn 18. When she was 14 months, I had to take on the department.
Yes.
Because they wanted to place her with a sibling that she had never met, was never going to live with because it was from the dad's side. And we'd been doing the transitioning period. The brother was hitting her the whole time. He didn't want another child coming into his placement, you could tell. And everyone was pushing this agenda because it's a sibling policy. But I went looking for about 200 hours, going through all of their policies until I found a policy that suited me, which was she's a newborn. She was a newborn. I got her at 13 days old. And there's two different policies. There's one for children that have lived together and in my opinion should try to stay together. I'm big on sibling policy. But when they're would never have even met, they wouldn't, I'm not going to go into details, but these children would never have even met if they had stayed with their biological parents. And I just thought, no, there's no need for this. She's been with us for 14 months.
Yes.
We were told you could have her, like long term. So we all relaxed and fully bonded and attached to her. And then to be told, oh, no, it looks better on a bit of paper, we place her with her sibling. Well, no, that's not taking into account my daughter or the brother.
Yes.
So I found the policy that suited me and I took it to NCAT and I was successful.
Fabulous.
So I had to become an advocate very, very early on. She was only my second, well, she wasn't my second placement. She was a second long-term placement. I'd had about 5 kids in between. My first placement was my son, and then I kept him long-term. There was probably about 5 or 6 in between there, and then she came along, and then there was like 80 after that. There was lots after that. So until I put a stop to it, like you do have to be your own advocate as well for the kids, but you also have to know your limit and find that limit as quickly as possible.
Yeah, because ultimately that's best for the children as well too.
Well, you will be taken advantage of because there's no carers.
Yes, yeah.
There's plenty of kids, but there's no carers. So
yes.
At one point there I had 6 kids. I had them only for 4 days, but I said yes because, you say yes. But then I realised, well, how do I go to get milk? Like, how do I do anything? Because I don't have car seats for all these kids.
Yes.
They were all under 10. So I never did that again.
Yes.
Ever did I do that again.
Yes.
So you learn. You learn fast what your limits are.
Yes.
As long as you listen to yourself.
Yes, yes. And as you've said too.
Instead of them, you listen to yourself.
Yeah.
Because
and obviously
we'll keep piling them.
Yeah, very good listener to the children as well too.
Yeah,
even
that's
if they're
another thing.
not
like
able
you've
to communicate.
got all these kids crying and that, and they don't know what's going on. They don't know why they've come from a visit with mum and dad, left their carer in the morning, come for a visit with mum and dad, and then been dropped off to a stranger's house for 4 days, and then they go back to visit mum 4 days later and go back home to their carer. I put a stop to that. If I can't give regular respite, I won't offer it.
Yes.
And I have had 2 children that I gave regular respite to from the ages of 5 and 8 till they're both still in my life. They've aged out of care. And now I'm like a special auntie to the oldest one's son. So,
and given that you're looking at more long-term commitment to the children that come into your care, how do you keep your energy up so that you can
They give you energy.
Okay.
Like I'm 56, I should be just relaxing now, but here I am doing canteen, doing dancing, doing little athletics, running around for play dates for them, taking them to parks, taking them to lolly shops, like taking them to Macca's, like wherever they want to go. If I didn't have the kids, I'd probably be, as my kids call me already, an old carrot. Because, I wouldn't have anything. I would have aged.
Yes.
I would have definitely have aged if I didn't have the kids.
Yeah.
The kids do keep you young.
Absolutely.
And I walk a lot. That's my outlet, is walking, and I love animals, so I've always got animals. So
Fantastic.
if I had a farm, I'd have a whole farm full of animals, but you got to be able to feed them too, as I keep telling my kids. You can get them easy, but you've got to feed them and you've got to look after them. You've got to clean up their poop and all this sort of stuff, so it's not just that easy.
Yeah. No, and it sounds like in amongst all of those things, you may not have many hours left in the day for doing that.
Well, the animals are good because that encourages the kids. Like we've got 3 dogs, 3 guinea pigs and 3 daughters. So we all help. The 18-year-old got a dog herself, so she's responsible for that dog, even though I do a lot of it. But I get on to her, come on, it's your dog. And when she leaves, the dog goes with you, but the dog's not going with her. We're just telling her that to keep her home a little bit longer, because otherwise she'll run off thinking life's better on the other side. And I just want to keep her home as long as I can. Yeah, I don't believe kids should be leaving home at 18.
Yes.
When they're ready.
Yes.
But preferably not 18.
Yes.
So I tell her, well, if you go, you've got to take your dog.
You're almost answering, endlessly my next question about, the special moments that stay with you.
Their whole life.
Yes.
And if it's a child you've only had for a weekend or a life, there's cute little smiles, their little giggles, the resilience of these children has never, ever ceased to amaze me. You can't find their resilience in adults.
No.
So I don't know where they get it from. They come in, they own the place, they play with the toys, they run to their rooms, they love being bathed, they love being fed. All these things they've missed out on, they love. The only negative you could possibly have is I've taken a few kids to buy them, because I predominantly did NAS babies or babies under 2. Took a couple of kids to get shoes the next day because they didn't come with shoes, and they would just stand there because they'd never had a pair of shoes on their feet.
Yes.
So they didn't know how to walk with shoes on. Even that's a positive, because you're the one that's provided that child with their first pair of shoes and teaching them how to walk in shoes. So, but there's the kids are the best part.
Yes.
I can't remember what date the Carers for Kids training is.
Oh, you can visit their website, carersforkidsnewsouthwales.org.au, click training, and then the whole training calendar for the rest of the year is there. You can also see what things they offer, like supports, resources on their carer portal, and when upcoming info and events are happening.
Oh, sweet. Thanks. I didn't know.
I had a 2-year-old turn up to the door at 9:00 at night on the day of her birthday. She had the casework, all she had on was a singlet and a nappy, and she had the caseworker's jumper around her, and she'd go off to visit her family, and she'd get in the car, no problems, and as soon as they pull up or even trying to get her in the car to come home, sometimes it'd be 2 hours trying to get her in the car. She didn't want to be separated from her mum and dad, but she still had happy moments. She still played. She went to the park. She loved the bath. All those happy things. Just when she seen her parents, she didn't want to come back to me. She knew where she wanted to be.
Yes.
And so I spent nearly every day on the phone. After about 4 months, she needs to go to her new home that she's going to go to as soon as she possibly can. She's 2.
Yes.
And it took a long time for him to listen to me, but in the background I didn't know, because they don't communicate with you, is there was an older brother that was in a different placement that had never been mentioned to me. He was 4, and the mum was pregnant again. So what they were doing was trying to find a home for all 3 children.
Right.
So that's why it took so long.
Yes.
But instead of communicating that to me so I could work with that,
yes,
I was just left thinking, they don't care about this little girl.
Yes.
Like I'm telling them, the transport worker's showing that she doesn't want to come to me. And it wasn't me. I didn't take it personally. She wanted to be home with mum and dad.
Yes.
That's what she wanted.
which of course
Yeah,
you can
whether
understand.
it was good or bad, that's what she wanted. And so they ended up finding a home that took the little baby, the brand new baby, and then about 3 weeks later we transitioned her over. And this is what makes me feel good when I was going through that, thinking, oh, maybe it's me. How can a 2-year-old hate you? Like, you know, how does a 2-year-old even know that? But these people walked through our door and she went, hello, Mummy and Daddy, and ran up to the dad and threw herself at him, and I was just like, okay, I was right all this time. This little girl just doesn't like me. And she settled into that home, which she had to wait 2 weeks because they had the brand new baby, so they had to get with the brand new baby. And she used to just sit at the window waiting for them to come, so I felt really good about her going to them, so we dropped her off. And then I believe her brother joined them, her and the little sister, about 3 or 4 months later because he had a lot more issues. So, but that ended up being a happy ending, even though it wasn't a happy time, 8 months of this child
Struggling.
She did some very odd behaviours too, like every morning she'd put poop all over her cot and just scream for no reason sometimes. And they don't communicate there too.
Yes.
So you can't pick up on everything that and you can't even let your mind go there of why are they screaming for, and that, because it's a million things it could be.
Absolutely.
It could be a smell, it could be a sound, it could be the tone in my voice, it could be anything that is a trigger.
How do you keep yourself going for 8 months with a 2-year-old like that?
Well, I still had my other first placement and my son as well, and we still had other placements coming and going. So she wasn't here on her own, but I just advocated for her as much as I could and said to the transport worker, please note this in the files that she doesn't want to come here. Because I didn't know. If I had known there was a baby waiting to be born, and I just thought the department weren't listening and didn't care. But they actually did.
Yes.
But they just didn't care about me enough to tell me what the situation was. So, yeah, again, it's always back to the system, never the children.
Yes. But coming to the children, I believe that you have something very special that you use to remember all the children that have been with you. Could you tell us about that?
Yes, it's just like a Pandora bracelet, and they're little love heart charms, and you can get a photo put on one side and I get their name engraved on the other. And I didn't do that with every child. I just did that with the babies more so than the older ones, because the older ones you can write them letters and send every child I've wrote a letter to them about their time with me, photos to go into their life story. But babies, it's harder because they've got they have a memory, but they don't have a memory of that memory, if that makes sense.
Yes.
So, and as I was saying earlier, if any of them ever knock on my door or look me up one day, look at their file and say, I wonder who that person was, the door's open to them to come, and I'll tell them about their stay with me and show them their little charm.
Yes.
So
it's beautiful.
Yeah, so it's mainly the babies that I did that for, but I've got folders upon folders upon folders of every child with photos, what they liked, what their first night was like, what their visit schedule was. So, because a lot of kids when they go to long term, they don't have a big schedule. What sort of foods they like to eat, things they like to do, and if they have siblings, lots of sibling contact photos because they can get lost as well.
Yes.
Yep.
And what sorts of things help you navigate the hard times? Not just that time, but what you were talking before about how important walking is. But
there's lots of ups and downs with birth family. But I have been very, very blessed in my opinion, with my kids' family. I have young parents. I have severely mentally unstable, unwell, drug-affected parents, And I also have parents that have suffered domestic violence and, again, bad drug use for 20, 30 years in that case. So it's not going anywhere.
Yes.
I would say the hardest out of all my kids would be one particular parent that she likes me 1 minute and thinks I'm great, and the next minute I'm the whole reason why she lost her child. And
Yes.
but I just pull her up now. Now my daughter's getting older. I need her to be able to navigate this herself.
Yes.
When she becomes an adult, and I have to set boundaries for that mum now, so the boundaries are in place. So the daughter's got a plan to follow.
That's
basically.
right.
Yeah, so, there's been times where she didn't want to go to visits. I don't want to go. It's embarrassing, the things this parent does. And I just say to her, it's 12 hours of your life a year.
Yes.
You this parent gets 6 hours with you a year, 6 visits with you a year for 2 hours. If you can't put you're safe, you've been safe since you were born, you've been loved, you've been cherished, you're the princess, you've got no reason to take on her emotions, but you should show empathy for your mother, that she can't help where she's at in life. And as she's got older, I've been able to explain things that happened to her mother's life.
Yes.
And why she is like she is. So it's like going down I call it like going down a garden of flowers, and there's some weeds there and there's some nice flowers here, and you're holding your child's hand, the foster child's hand, and you're showing them the beauty in the beautiful flowers and what could have made that flower die, or it's that sort of, that's how I raise my children.
Yes.
So we show the good, the bad and the ugly.
Yes.
There's no age appropriate, obviously.
Of course.
But I've been very lucky that all my kids' parents love their children to bits, turn up to, 4 parents turn up to 100% of visits, and there's only one parent that's been a bit AWOL, comes back. And every time he goes missing, I just explain to the child that he's in a place at the moment where he's not focused on you, he's focused on fixing themselves. And when they come back, we just open the door up and they're back.
Yes.
There's none of this writing letters, sending photos, let's do phone calls, because in my kids' cases, they've been with me since birth.
Yes.
So I'd have a whole different approach if they come to me at 5
Yes.
or something and had that trauma with the parent. But the only trauma my children have are in the womb trauma and trauma of visits and growing up in a system. That's the only trauma they've got.
And you obviously really make it a very regular part of conversations and their
we talk
journey.
about their family every single day.
So
there's photos in their rooms. I've been so lucky. My 2 youngest one, I get along fantastic with their mum. I just love her. I see her like a daughter. They've got pictures of their birth, like straight after their birth in their bedrooms. And I thought, I'm putting that photo up in the kids' bedroom. And so I did. And then years later, when the other one come and I had built this amazing relationship with Mum, I said, look, I wanted her to wake up to your face every morning. She sees me all day, every day. She doesn't need photos of me in her bedroom. She needs photos of you, so you're kept alive in her mind and heart. So I said, but I don't have one for the other one. Could you give me one? She said, oh, my God, yeah, I've got one here, and just handed it over on the phone. And so, she's got one too now. But I just think little things like that, like one of the first things I do with any placement is I ask for a photo of the family, and I explain to them why I want the photo. I don't want the photo so I can ID you down the street. It's more about the child have that picture in their room As long as there's no trauma. Like
Yes.
children that have come from really traumatic backgrounds, you wouldn't do that. You wouldn't have that in the child's face every day. But in my kids' case, because I've had them from birth, I wanted always for them to love their family as much as they love my family.
Yes.
Or our family.
Yes.
So we're all just one big family, even the ones that suffer severe mental health. Like she's coming to the 18th birthday party in a couple of weeks. That could be interesting. But as I said, that's your mum.
Yeah.
Like, she's not missed a visit your whole life. Your whole life. How do you not invite her?
Well, it's so wonderful that you make that such a regular part of our family, that you see
and
every
even
extension.
Like her friends know what her real mum's like, and my family know what her mum's like. So anyone that's going to be there is not going to be put off by any behaviours that might show. I have asked Mum, could she do it in a peaceful? Could she come in a peaceful manner? But when you're dealing with people with drug-affected minds and mental health, anything can pop up. But I've just tried to explain to everybody that we're the majority. She's walking into a room where she knows only her daughter.
Yes.
And that, for her to want to do that, is a huge step. My two little ones, when we go to visits, there can be up to 20 people at the visit because I get them all to come on the same day. Hint, hint, if you're doing
So you
visits
don't have to do 20
and there's
separate
lots
visits.
of family, get them all on the same day. And they can be all blueing with each other and contacting me and telling me, and I just try and, okay, that's no good, try to remain neutral. But when we go to visits, everyone puts all their animosity behind, and it's so focused on them girls. Well, you can't help but respect that.
Yes.
Because my own family can't do that sometimes. So
Yes.
I take my hat off
Yes.
to that family because they do fight a lot amongst themselves, but they all still show up for the visits and they all just get along. The girls would have no clue that anyone was fighting, and I know, and I wouldn't know either if I wasn't told.
Yes.
So if they didn't tell me, I wouldn't know either.
No.
So, and I just sometimes when they say, oh, such and such is going to be that, oh, well, get over it. Like, I'm old school, get over it. Like, you're not there for them. You're there to see the girls.
No,
I'm not
and
having
you're
separate
obviously-
visits, and I stick to me. I'm not having separate visits. Like, and I was very lucky back in the day when visits were organised and all that. It used to only be 6 visits a year. Now they're more 12. But when they go long term. But I just put my foot down right from, I don't know what made me do it, but I just said the visits are to occur in school holidays and school holidays only.
Mm-hmm.
Because for this child to have a good life and be able to do well at school and to get out of the cycle it was born into, I need to do what's best for the child. And what's best for the child is, okay, you can ring as many times as you want. We got open phone policy in our house. You can ring, you can video call, you can send messages, you can send in the mail. I don't care if they even have my address. No one's asked for it, but I don't care. But the face-to-face visits can be very bring all sorts of emotions to the kids. It's best done in school holidays.
Yes.
Where they've got all the rest of the holidays to deregulate, get back into the habit of their normal life. Kids shouldn't have, in my opinion, to worry about birth family face-to-face visits in a school term.
Yes.
School is hard enough.
Yes.
School is really hard these days. You've got bullies, you've got like such advanced learning that the kids are learning these days to what they did 20 years ago. And then they have all their after-school curricular activities, and trying to fit birth family in is that, I think, becomes a nuisance to the kids. Whereas the way I've done it, where it's just school holidays, everybody's relaxed, everybody's free, we can have it anywhere we want. It can be in the morning, it can be in the afternoon. It's not set around, oh, you've got to go straight from school to a visit. I wouldn't be able to cope doing that. Because the emotions that must come up and then affect their schooling there's enough emotions behind the scenes without shoving it in their face once a month. Oh, you're a foster child. Oh, you're a foster child. Because that's what you're doing. You don't live at home with your parents. You don't live at home with your parents.
Yes, yeah. What do you do? So we're hearing so much about all the love and care and advocacy that you spend and place on these children, who are in your care. How do you actually balance then when you know that they're going to leave?
Again, I've been very lucky with that. Some have gone back home to their mum and dad. Oh, that's always a great thing. That's where they belong. If someone's ticked off all the boxes, that's where they belong. I've had little ones go to grandparents for kinship care. Again, always family's going to be the better option if they're out of that cycle of abuse and neglect.
Yes.
As long as, and even when I say to new carers, you can't prepare for this, you can't, no matter what you read, hear, see. But you know what, even if you only do it for 12 months and you only help one child out of the system, you've achieved.
Definitely.
And even if you've come in and you've only done one child and decide it's not for you, you've still achieved.
Yes. Because
there's no use doing something you don't want to do. There's no use having all these kids coming into your house if you don't really want to do it.
No, because it's not good for the kids.
No.
Yeah.
But at least you gave it a go.
Yes. Yes. And how amazing that you've got all of those achievements on this very special bracelet, and then all these multitude of other things around your house for both yourself and your biological children and other children in your care to see too, the family and the extended family that you've created over so many years.
Oh, yeah, I feel blessed. I don't have a big family and I only have one child. So now I've got 5 children and I've got probably 100 other family members and all these other little ones that I know along the way, and I do worry. I do not worry. There's a couple I worry, but I more wonder how they turn out. And Facebook's a great place for that.
Yes.
Because when you know they're turned 18, if you type in their name, something will come up.
Yes.
You're not sure if it's the right one or not, but they survive till they're 18. That's a good thing.
Absolutely.
They're doing well in life.
Yes.
That's all that matters. And you can't fix them. You can just provide a home that nurtures that ability to mend and fix and become better than the cycle they were born into. Pretty much.
Thank you for your care and also for building all those skills in children that you can obviously see are going to be incredibly beneficial for later on.
No use being with me if I'm not helping them.
Thank you. I think I want to be with you as well too.
You might not say that when I'm making you do jobs.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to this episode of A Home and Healing for Every Child podcast. We hope you enjoyed it and look forward to having you join us for the next episode. Stay up to date with the latest news, stories, training and upcoming events by subscribing and following along on our socials at Adopt Change or Carers for Kids New South Wales.